As we continue our journey through the 12 chakras, today we land on the Cosmic Chakra. It is like the rest of the upper chakras that extend beyond the crown of the head. It is also a state of consciousness. And I have to tell you, I've been really wonky talking to Spirit about this one and the type of information we both want to present to you, both my friends and helpers in Spirit realm, and then also my vast knowledge on this chakra. Again, to find it, if you were to place the base of the palms of your hands on top of your ears, where your two middle fingers come together at the top of your head, that's your crown chakra. And then I'm like 5'7" roughly. So when I reach my hands above the top of my head, and at the very top point is the divine chakra, and if the base of the crown is the crown chakra, there are 3 other chakras beneath it, between the two of them, right? And so last week we talked about higher self. So me at 5'7", they're equally apart. So for me, it's roughly 4 inches up to the higher self. And then above that 4 inches is roughly the karmic. Today, I'm talking to you about the cosmic chakra. It's up another 4. It's right before we get to the divine chakra, the uppermost chakra that I've worked with that is in the auric field above the physical body. And you see me struggling. I'm like, oh my gosh. This chakra is fascinating to me because the biggest struggle that happens here is this balance, because the cosmic chakra is about this beginning to see that you're an integral part of the universe and the cosmic all and this interconnectedness. But nowadays there's this incredible culture of loneliness that is happening in a wave on the planet. And these are opposite sides of the cosmic chakra. This is what I want to talk to you about today.
Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Yeah, you heard me right. There's this weird culture of loneliness. And I actually feel like some of it is coming from all the time that we're spending on, social media and taking in information and not really interacting physically with other people. This is hilarious for me to say, right? Because my business is built on social media and reaching you in this way across the airwaves of the internet. But when we use that to replace interaction with others, we can really fold into ourself, into this space of loneliness. And so I think I should probably do an episode on the culture of loneliness and ways you can counteract. But it's every way you can imagine, right? It's getting involved in clubs and volunteering and interacting and getting together with friends and going outside your comfort zone to try a new club, whether you go to your local public library, which I adore, and they often have many events happening, right? Or you start one yourself. These are the ways that you can begin to see your relationship with other, which is very cosmic chakra. It's about your interconnectedness with others, but also this immense awareness that you are an integral part of the universe. I want to tell you this weird story that happened to me. I think it was a weird story, but like a lot of times in my life, I have these weird things happen. So I was visiting my daughter. She lives in another town, and we went for ice cream. And we are sitting on the bench. And while we're sitting there, these other kids had finished their early school program, and they were little kids. They weren't in kindergarten on up. They were younger kids. And this little child passed with his parents and his grandparents, and he walked by our bench and had his eyes glued on me. And our bench was right near a road, and parked cars. But instead of going behind with his parents, he crossed in the front of the bench with his grandparent, almost so that he could look at me in the eye. And I was like, I see you. In my mind, I'm thinking, I see you. But I didn't converse any further than that. And I thought, gosh, what does he want me to say or do? Right. I'm thinking this separate. I'm not going into his energetic space or his mind space and conversing with him. I'm just thinking this of myself. What is he after? Right. He goes in, they get their ice cream. He comes back out and he does it again. He's going right in front of me. So much so that my daughter's noticing that he's really looking at me. And so I was like making faces, and your ice cream looks yummy, conversing with him on the outside. Don't ask me why I chose not to converse on the inside, psychically, intuitively, right? I just decided I'm just going to have this conversation with you externally. Maybe so not to alarm him, but I had a feeling he wouldn't have been alarmed anyway. So he just sat with his family on the bench beside us and kept kind of looking over to make eye contact. And I was like, okay, that's okay. Sometimes this happens, kids are drawn to me, animals are drawn to me. Maybe you experience the same. Sometimes it's the light I carry, the vibration I carry. I was not thinking anything spiritual. I was not exuding love. I was just being Constance eating ice cream on the bench, dairy-free vegan ice cream. And so I thought nothing more of it. We carried on with our day. And then later that day, we end up at American Eagle so my daughter could go shopping. And when we're in American Eagle, another family comes in with a young girl. And the little girl, I don't know, maybe she was 2 or 3 or whatever. She comes skipping in and dancing to the music, and I'm liking the music too, so I'm thinking I could dance to this music too. But she sees me, and she's looking right at me, and she's like dancing and dancing and looking at me, and I'm thinking, okay, something's going on. Something is going on. So I like to the point that her older sister was, I think, feeling a little awkward about how much she was like glued on me and looking at me. Meanwhile, my daughter's looking for clothes and, going through the store. And I sit there and I decide I'm going internal. I'm going to have this conversation with this girl. And I begin to do that by looking into her eyes, which you don't have to do. You can, just with the intention, converse with someone at a distance. Everything's with intention. But I decided for whatever reason, I think I was compelled to look in her eyes because she's like dancing right in front of me. And I'm thinking, okay, do you want me to dance with you? I'm thinking that. But what I say to her is what? And in that instant, I felt like this bolt ripple through me from her. And I was like, whoa, whoa. Now, meanwhile, she's still got her eyes glued on me. This girl's like 2 or 3. And I'm asking her inside, what did you do there? And I had to write it down so fast in the notes in my phone, so I didn't want to forget it. So I'm going to read you what I wrote. Both kids, by the way, didn't really talk to me at all. But this one was a toddler. She wasn't talking. So she's looking into my eyes and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, are you transmuting a message to me? Like not with words, but with a vibration. And she was like, yes, I am. So I was conversing with her higher self at that point, soul to soul, right? And I was like, what are you doing? Are you transmuting energy or are you transmitting a message or what's happening here? What is this about? And I hear her response say, I'm equipping you with something I want you to teach. Chills. I'm equipping you with something I want you to teach on your YouTube channel and in your lessons and in your repertoire of teachings so that when I get older, it is already out there as acceptable material. If you're watching on YouTube, I'm like kind of energetically like goosebumps, freaking out, chills, right? She says, I want you to teach this that I'm energetically transmuting and transferring to you so that when you teach it, by the time I'm older, it will already be acceptable material. I was like, what? Like, wow. I turn my head, clear sensation pulling me to turn my head and look. And I look and there on the shelf is eau de parfum or eau de cologne or something. And it's called Fear Nothing Bold. Fear Nothing Bold. And I was like, signs are everywhere, right? So I thought, okay, all right. And so she's meanwhile dancing and looking at me. And then I was like, okay. I said that out loud. Okay, I got you. And then she like turned away. And I was just gobsmacked, flabbergasted. I have no clue what she transferred to me. No clue. It didn't come out in words. It didn't come out in information, no clairvoyant vision, no clairaudient words. It was vibrational material that when I left the store, I got from my own guidance that you'll know when the time is right. You'll deliver this information when the time is right. I was like, wow, chills. So both of these kids, I felt here. Sometimes I know when kids come up to me or animals come up to me, I'm supposed to offer healing. And I energetically send love, light, beam, whatever strength. When I see people suffering, I'll beam strength, love, healing, light. But this was the first time where it really felt like it was coming to me to fortify me for whatever I'm going to bring to you. I was like, wow, these kids are amazing, right? And I know that I've mentioned this to you before. I think that there's this advanced knowledge coming in now. There's a lot of really clever, not just kids on the planet now, but our own kind of insight is becoming more advanced. So you might recognize you're starting to know things before you know why you know them or what you're meant to do with them, right? But these are great illustrations for the interconnection of all of us. There's 3 kind of things about the cosmic chakra. It really is about interconnection. It's about this oneness principle, like this ability to empathically connect. This is why so many people are waking up to their empathic nature, right? And it's definitely because your energy field reaches farther than you think, because you can have your energy field pick up other people's energy, whether if you're physical proximity or you're just thinking of them at a distance. I've taught this before. If you look at my playlist, I have a collection of episodes on empaths and, clairsensation and connection and stuff like this. Don't forget my playlist. You should look at it if you haven't. It's my lessons are sequential. There's a reason why everything comes out in the order that it does. It so that the lessons build one upon the other to equip you, to empower you, right? And so the cosmic chakra is very linked to the crown because it's next, but it really is about this recognition of oneness and also this collective impact that oneness can bring. This kid, the girl and the boy, I'm sure he was imparting knowledge, but I just wasn't conscious in that moment because I wasn't engaging my awareness to interact with him, the first little boy with the ice cream, but the second one I did. And so this is really this invitation to expand your awareness and tune in on these other levels, because it is a oneness principle. She was definitely saying, I'm going to gift you this so that when I'm old enough, it'll already be out there so I don't have to try so hard. So I was like, okay, sign me up. I'll deliver the content. No problem. Not that I know what you're asking me to deliver. So in the months ahead, I'm going to be like, what is it that what's coming in from left field, right? Or maybe it's just a refinement on some of the principles and teachings I already am aware of or conscious of. But there's this whole awareness with the cosmic chakra. When you're really vibing in that space of oneness, you start to see that there is this collective impact. What you do matters. how you navigate your life and your choices matter. Remember last week we spoke of the karmic chakra, and it's really, to me, it's about choices. Oh my God. I'm just going to sit on that one. It's really about choices. Choose wisely, choose wisely, choose wisely, the karmic chakra, because that level of consciousness and conscious choosing brings you to the greater expanded awareness of the cosmic chakra, which is the integration of body and soul and your interconnectedness to all that is, really. There's some schools of thought that flip these two chakras. I think I saw that somewhere a long time ago when I was like going, oh my gosh, this stuff is wild. Has anyone else worked with this? And I realized some people had, but I was like, I don't agree with your order that you're relating to these experiences. First and foremost was because I was working with them when I did hands-on healing and going into chakras to read information for people, but also because I would sit in my own energy field with the material and realize the sequence of how they presented the chakras and the layers and levels of consciousness. But, apple or no, tomato, I think to each his own. It's the journey. So I just share what I know as true. And, you know, there's countless chakras, right? There's hundreds of chakras. I'm just dealing with the big 12 that we can work with, that I'm working with. But your whole awareness starts to wake up with the cosmic chakra, with this expanded awareness, to the point that you realize that you can intuitively converse and with all forms of life, right? You can intuitively converse with all forms of life. And so make sure you're very hip on your 11 soul senses. It's the language of your soul. It's the language of other people's souls. And so this when I talk about all forms of life, I'm talking about your loved ones that are alive, right in front of you or across the planet. I'm talking about nature, elements. I'm talking about off-planet beings. I'm also talking about loved ones that have crossed, guides, angels. Did I say animals, plants? All of these, all forms of life, source energy. This really comes alive at the cosmic chakra because you realize this incredible, beautiful interconnectedness to all that is. And so definitely check out my playlist in regards to any questions you might have on that. I've got episodes on discernment and gosh, all kinds of episodes. All kinds of episodes and teachings. So look back to the playlist to see what resonates with you and what you might need, right? That's very cosmic chakra, to know that you will be guided to what it is you need. So you start in this place of awareness and knowing that you begin to realize that you resonate with this greater cosmic order and sequence of events, which is why it's really important that you follow your intuitive hits, because you are an intricate part of the universe and things can happen quick or slow. And if you have a calling or something you're aggravated about or delighted about or engaged in, I'm certain you're meant to play a part in some small or large way, but you cannot guess the impact, whether you think it's going to be a small thing. It could be a huge thing. The cool thing about the cosmic chakra is when you start to really dabble in the energy of it, you recognize that you doing one thing, like moving something or talking to someone, might actually be part of their sequence of steps in their manifestation efforts. Maybe they're longing for, asking for, co-creating something in particular, and you getting an intuitive hit to go talk to that person, take that class, whatever, say that thing, pick up that book, is actually this part of this, just divine flow of cosmic interconnectedness. And I think sometimes, especially with manifesting, we think, oh, I'm putting this wish out to the universe and And I know that I'm supposed to take steps. It's co-creation manifesting. But I want you to realize that you might be part of someone's manifesting efforts. And the part is because you're supposed to do something that your heart and soul is calling you to do. Now, some of you might think, oh my gosh, my desire on the planet is so big. How could I do it alone? And I'm telling you, you're not alone. Chills. This is the part of the cosmic chakra. If everybody does their little part, you don't even know how the world's meant to come together, on this whole other thing. I just want to remind you that when you follow your intuitive hits, the language of your soul, things will start to ripple because you belong to something vast and intelligent. You are not alone. You are not alone. And so this is why I'm so sad about this culture of loneliness. I don't think I ever really went through a phase of loneliness because I was tapped into my cosmic connection. I was tapped into God, and I was conversing with spirit at a young age, and reading people's hearts and minds at a young age, not realizing that's what I was doing. It was just part of who I was and how I was, but I've never really felt like, oh, I'm all alone. So this is, if you struggle with this kind of loneliness, this is what I invite you to do, is really step into, how am I connected? Ask that question of yourself. How am I connected to everything? What is my deepest desires? What are the skills and talents? What do I enjoy doing? Do more of the joy, because that will help you find your tribe and the interconnectedness and this whole thing of your part in the ripple of effect heading out, right? My book, Soul Yoga, Using Your 12 Chakras as a Map to Reaching Your Highest Potential, is all about coming into union with your true self. Because you see, your chakras aren't just energy centers. They're where your experiences live, your wisdom, your soul's memory. In this book, I walk you through the 12 chakras so you can remember who you are. This could be your most important journey yet. To get your copy, visit my shop at constancemessmer.com. So there's something about this, this whole awareness of being kind of part of the collective is very cosmic chakra. It's very much this principle of oneness. And before I understood the concept, I thought, oh, I'm going to lose myself. No, you're not going to lose yourself at all. It's like this beautiful flower in this brilliant garden of various flowers, right? Every part matters, every bit matters. So I just want you to recognize, when you're considering and contemplating the cosmic chakra and the energy of it, where you begin to see that you're an integral part of the universe, I want you to realize you were never meant to be small. You were never meant to be small. Don't play small. Don't confuse that with, I never want to be on a big stage. I never want to be, a superstar, whatever. Don't confuse that. I mean, you're not supposed to play small with who you are, because you could be someone big in someone's world, right? I remember when I was in high school, I can't believe Spirit's reminding me of this story. When I was in high school, there was an opportunity to help people from Laos read English, learn English. And so I volunteered to do that. And I remember the young man's kind of look on his face when he was so proud and thrilled, when I was thrilled for him, when he was starting to grasp the English language, because he had come here to America, his whole life behind him, starting new, not much personal belongings. I won't get into his story, but me volunteering to do that, another high school student with a high school student, it was just a beautiful opening. And in that moment, I meant the world to him, but in that moment, he meant the world to me. I don't know what happened to him, but I just, the connection was huge, and it affected me on this deeper level. Like, oh, I can make even the smallest difference here. And the same, I think I told you, I used to volunteer to read children's books at the library on Saturdays. It was really fun for me. I love kids, actually. And I loved seeing the joy in their eyes when I became animated with a story. So I think that when we recognize what brings us joy is meant to bring our world joy, we find our reason of existence, right? We find our passion, we find our bliss, even in the small things. You were never meant to be small. Don't hide. Don't hide. Everyone comes in with gifts. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. There's a reason why you're here on the planet. There is. I know this because you're here. You're here. You're part of the divine plan. You really are. If you were to ask me kind of what do I want to leave you with in regards to the cosmic chakra, I would say I want to leave you with the fact that the cosmic chakra is really about raising the well-being of our world. It's really about raising the well-being of our world. You following your happiness, you living your truth from that space of authenticity, finding your joy. What are you good at? Building yourself up for that. Don't listen to the negative voices that run through your head. I'm sure I have an episode on the voices in your head. Watch that. Often we have those critical voices. Who are you? What do you think? Are you kidding? Don't listen to those voices, the critical ones. I want you to listen to the part of you that says maybe, perhaps, yeah, yeah. My sister, I think I told you this, my oldest sister, shout out to Kathy, belongs to this club in our hometown. I think I told you this before. And they do like an adventure club where they get together once a month and do different fun things. I was like, that is so freaking cool. Like different things. They go to shows or they go for bike rides or go for runs or they volunteer handing out water at the local, road races, just all kinds of things. Kayaking, whatever. So some things cost money, some things don't. And if you're strapped for money, the public library is phenomenal. And if you're not strapped for money, give to the public library. They always have events and opportunities. I just think that when you realize that you really are connected on this greater level and you could mean the world to someone, even, my daughter's always been a great one to walk dogs at the local shelter or visit the cats, these kind of things. Get out of your comfort zone. Be a part of the world that needs you. It's really important. Don't give up hope. Don't give up hope. Just don't do it. I know that each generation has some tricky people. And sometimes those tricky people are to highlight the ugly, the uncomfortable. Whether that's reflection of those parts of us or if we're just supposed to stand up and say, no, this is not the world I want to live in, so I'm going to help change it, right? So I'm asking Spirit, I'm like, wow, that was a different place that we went. Stay with it, they're saying. I think that when the going gets tough, the tough get going. That's what someone's saying. I'm like, really? It is that saying, like, don't give up, right? When things seem overwhelming, sit with yourself, go in to your heart, see what you need to let go of, ask to be connected to the highest truth that can come forward and give you guidance. Ask to be connected to your wise self that is part of this cosmic all that is interconnected. Ask, whatever you want to work on in your life, pulling back and not doing so much, being more refined in what you do, taking time for yourself, doing something new and different that might be exciting and engaging, a class, a book club, whatever, volunteer work, a new career. Where am I meant to connect? Where am I meant to connect so that I can feel this cosmic love, this interconnectedness? Where should I be? Where are my talents going to be valued the most? For me, for my greatest good, and for the world, the greatest good for all. Because to me, again, when you take a moment to tune in and really listen and allow your 11 soul senses to tell you, whether you get memories, visions, dreams, say, bombard me with it over the next few days with the thought of, oh, I got to go do this. I got to go do this. I got to go do this. I want to reach out to so-and-so. I know that when we ask, it will be given. So when you take the time to tune in, to sit with yourself and say, I'm going to just write these things that come up for me. Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? How can I be more of service to myself and the world, or to other, or how can I show up for myself? That's huge cosmic chakra. It's not selfish to say, how can I show up for myself? I need a break. I need a bath. I need something. I need a break. That's self-love and self-care. That's important, because when you start building rapport with yourself and understand and care for yourself, your energy does this beautiful thing to calm and then expansiveness, because you're like, oh, I'm feeding my soul. I'm showing up for myself. This is as much of a interconnected journey. It's also a solo journey, right? Who you are is what you came to do. So the cosmic chakra says, Chills, you're an integral part of the universe. But what part are you? What part are you? And that's what I'm hoping to kind of wake up in you. Don't hide, don't run. Be who you are. Who are you? Gifts and talents. No matter how small, Spirit's saying, you were never meant to be small. You're not small. I'm telling you, you're not small. If I only sat and read and taught and listened for that part and never wrote my books or never reached out to you, I think I would have had a very fulfilling life, because I would have been helping and, bring smiles to children if I just continued reading in the library, or if I just helped people learn English or whatever. That would have been powerful, right? I did what I felt like I kind of want to do this. I saw the sign up volunteer thing at the high school and I was like, I want to give that a whirl. No matter how small it seems to you, it could be something big for someone else. I think I've told you this before. When I've worked with loved ones on the other side and I ask them, it's a real dialogue, and I ask them beyond evidence, like, what's the greatest piece of advice you want to give? Know thyself is always comes in. Know thyself. Who are you? Who you are is what you came to do. The cosmic chakra, again, is about the collective impact, collective consciousness, but collective impact, especially your specific impact. And the more you be you, the more you will raise the well-being of our world and your life. So show up for yourself. So cosmic chakra is, again, about this opposite polars, loneliness and an integral part. And it's noticing when you need to take moments of soul reprieve to get back into yourself so you could be there for really yourself, which then brings great joy to the world. Really does. It's this beautiful loop, this beautiful loop, this beautiful loop. I'm going to ask Spirit if there's any more. Be who you are. And in this way, the cosmic chakra is very linked to the solar plexus. Solar plexus is personal power, self-esteem, who you are, what you came to do. Even though the cosmic chakra is this incredible integration and this experience of vast oneness, and you realize you are, you are your neighbor, you are everything you see. You are an integral part of all of that. It is back to you. It's this beautiful both and. So this week, be kind to yourself. Take a moment to tune in and find out, what do you want to change so that you can shine your best life, right? For yourself in the cosmic all. Yeah. Because you were never meant to be small. All right, I can see your light. I can see your light. I can see your light. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to my members. Thank you for supporting this channel, for subscribing, liking, sharing, and all the ways that you do. Thanks for tuning in.